Salutations, my name is Summer and this is Sterling Reads, and I do have Sterling and May in here, and I actually finished some books this month. It's been pretty productive, surprisingly with how much I've been working. So anyway, one of the things I finished was Cold Mountain by Charles Fraser. This was a reread for me. This I always counted or considered as a favorite. I can't really say it's a favorite anymore. Maybe it's because it's like so full of misery, but it's beautiful. I mean, Charles Fraser's writing is gorgeous. So, I mean, and I really enjoy his characters and the story. The story is about Inman, who is a soldier during the Civil War, and he is on the side of the South, a Confederate soldier, and which is complicated because he doesn't own slaves. He's just, guys know how it was with the North and the South, and if you were in the South, you were defending your land and your way of life, even if your way of life wasn't, with slavery or anything. So anyway, but it's his journey of him deserting and trying to make it back way home. And he has, the Blue Ridge Mountains and everything, to Ada, who he loves. But he doesn't really know her. I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing, too, to me, because it's like, okay, she's beautiful, she's new, she moves to town, and he has this instant, like, attraction to her, and she's attracted to him, too. But it's like, you guys don't know each other. But, anyway, it is a beautiful book. I don't think Angie or Deanna finished it, but at least I haven't heard that they have. I think they set it aside. Anyway, another book that I finished was James by Percival Everett, and this was gifted to me. And I have coconut oil on like all my books. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. This is a retelling of Mark Twain. Tom Sawyer's not really in here. It's more Huck and Jim, the slave that was in the Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer. And it's the same type of story where there is a kind of like journey. You gotta have the river in there. But I enjoyed it. It made me think quite a bit about slavery in a way I haven't really thought about it before, which is weird because I've read so many different books about slavery. Anyway, there was a part at the end that I did not like, and if you've read this, then you'll know what I'm talking about. The author connects Huck and Jim in a way that I do not feel like is realistic. I'm just saying, my opinion. And I don't feel like he needed to do that for the story, but he did. And it was just something that I was like, I would have preferred him not to do that. But the writing was great. I feel like the characters were pretty much true to what I would think, like how I felt when I read, which has been forever since I've read any Mark Twain, which I really enjoy him, so I should get back to it. Anyway, but a great read. So another book that I finished that I loved in the beginning, and then I don't know really what happened, and that's Wool by Hugh Howey. I really enjoyed this. It kept my interest all the way through. And in the very beginning, I was like so intrigued and I was loving it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, okay, silos, and yeah, the earth is inhabitable, and there's more silos. That's exciting, but it just, I don't know, something happened, and maybe it's because I'm working so much and I'm tired when I'm reading it, but I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. So I will be continuing on because I have Shift and Dust 2 and 3 there. So I plan to get back to that. I don't know if it'll happen in June because I have plans for June, but anyway, the last thing that I finished, and I am sitting in front of the window with the window open, which feels amazing, but because we have a really nice breeze, but hopefully it's not loud for you guys. Anyway, I finished The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand, and this book is a chunker, but it's very good. I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the story. It made me think about a whole bunch of different things. There was a man that, you know, you love to hate, and there was another man who actually, you know, you could be scared of, with how his mind worked and what his plans were and how he treated people. But anyway, very good. I'm actually wanting to read something else of hers. I had only heard negative things about her before, and then I was recommended to read this, and I'm so glad that I did, because I thought it was very, very good. So 2 things I am currently reading. I picked Dreamcatcher by Stephen King up. I am not sure, I'm almost done. I am not sure why everybody gives Dreamcatcher such of a hard time. I didn't really watch the movie. Somebody was watching the movie when I had came home, and I only saw little parts of it. Like there was a part where somebody was sitting on the toilet and something was trying to come out of the toilet, and it I thought it was pretty scary. So I just, I didn't finish watching it, and yeah, I never picked it up. So I finally did, and I think this is great. I love stories about old friends getting together, and aliens, and anything that has to do with something entering somebody's body scares the crap out of me. So it's it's very good. I can't wait to find out what happens with the Grain Men and the 2 characters we have left. So the last thing that I am currently reading right now, and that is The Book of Dirt by Bram Presser. I'm buddy reading this with Mark over at Book Time with Elvis. I will link his channel down below. I am really enjoying this. So this is a story, Bram Presser, the author, this is a story about a family member of his who he doesn't have all the information. So he has created, through quite a bit of factual information and pictures and different things, he has completed a story of this family member and what he believes happened. And this book is so heartbreaking. This book makes me so grateful that I live in the time that I live in, and I live where I live. It's so easy to get caught up with this is wrong and that's wrong, and I hate to say it, but if you really think about it, if you have a roof over your head and you're able to feed yourself, and there's so many things, having running water, having electricity, the comforts, we take so much for granted. And whenever I read books about other countries, what people's going through, and this at this time, I just think, gosh, I'm just so spoiled and sometimes ungrateful. So I try every day to think about the things that I'm grateful for and just how blessed I am and lucky. But this is very good, even though it's so upsetting with how people were treated and what people went through. So, and people, there's still things going on all over the world that's injustices and horrible. But anyway, this is very good, and I'm really enjoying my buddy read. So June, I plan to read a couple of Star Trek for Book Trek, but my main thing is I always say Comanche Moon by Larry McMurtry is my favorite of the series. And how the series was written is kind of complicated. And you guys probably already know this, that Lonesome Dove was the first book written, and then Streets of Laredo. But then he went back and he wrote Dead Man's Walk and Comanche Moon. Well, how I read them was how the timeline went, not the publication. So I read Dead Man's Walk and Comanche Moon. And then I read Dead Man's Walk and Comanche Moon again. And then 2 years ago, I read Lonesome Dove and right after Streets of Laredo. I love every single one of the books for very different reasons. Streets of Laredo, I did not like at first when I was reading it because it's so very different. Also, in the first 3 books, you have characters that you love and you're kind of rooting for the whole time. And then something happens in Streets of Laredo, like you start it, and if there's a character you love, he's going to kill him off. And no, I'm not giving names, so, but just warning. Streets of Laredo is written so different, and oh, there's Sterling. And it's characters I didn't like. So it's like, I don't even care what's going on with this person because I don't like him. And then you start to care. And it's so well written, and he just has a way of, did you want to come on my lap? He just has this way with characters that make you feel for him even if you're not a fan of them. So my goal is to reread Comanche Moon. Here comes Sterling. No, maybe not. He put his 2 paws on my leg and then he was like, but yeah, my goal is to reread Comanche Moon. And of course, there he is. Oh, come here, you boy. And then to reread Lonesome Dove. So that way I can say which is my favorite. Because I always say Comanche Moon is. I don't know, Lonesome Dove is fantastic. Also, this was caused by a salt lamp. So warning, if you have a salt lamp near your books, this might happen. And ever since Book Depository went out of business, I cannot find these editions. I have ordered a different edition, so you might see me reading those, or I might just stick with these. But I love the stars. I know some of you do not like them, but I do. So that's my goal for June. Anyway, please let me know if you have a favorite in the series, what you plan to read for June. If you have any thoughts about any of these books, whether you liked them or you didn't like them, and how you're doing. All my cats are doing well. This is a gorgeous time of year. Last night I was driving home and the moon was almost full. There were fireflies. I had my windows down. It was a cool breeze. And the smell of honeysuckle was in the air. And it was just like, man, it is such of a nice time of year. So it was just a really nice night ride. Anyway, let me know how you guys are doing. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.